Hello and welcome to Rise and Unwind. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week I talk to people from across the country about things you could do in your neighborhood. And on this week's show,
there is fun to be had, and you still have to be a person to do that job. You know, it can't be dire all the time.
If tomorrow doesn't work out, the next day is always there.
All of that and more right here on Rise and Unwind. Most of us don't think twice about things like scented soap or grabbing lunch. But for people with indolent systemic mastocytosis, those little things could trigger serious symptoms. Jackie knows that firsthand struggle, and she's here with Dr. Dareen Siri to talk about her journey and a new treatment that's making a difference. It's great to have you both here. How are you?
Great.
Fine.
Thank you.
All right, Jackie, your story goes back quite a few years. What were some of the first signs something just didn't feel right?
It was back in the 1990s. I was working as a nurse, and I started having rashes, itchy rashes on the back of my neck and on my chest, and I would have stomach issues. I was getting migraine headaches, and I had problems with GI issues. I thought at the time that it was probably stress due to my job, so I just brushed it off. And as the time went on, the symptoms did not go away. In fact, they got worse. So I finally sought out medical treatment. And I went to see several doctors. And finally, in 2014, I was diagnosed with ISM through a bone marrow biopsy and a blood test. So it was a full almost 25 years before I was diagnosed.
So how did these symptoms start to change your pretty much everyday life?
How did they change my life? Significantly, because when you have stomach issues and bowel issues, and you're going out in the public, and there are only 4 or 5 foods that you can eat, you have to be very careful about what goes in your mouth because it could come out real quickly. And it affected my social life, it affected my volunteering, it affected every aspect of my life. And I am so thankful that I was able to find something that would help alleviate those symptoms.
And since you've started your new treatment, what's different for you now? And can you tell us about that treatment?
I started the treatment 2 years ago when it was first okayed by the FDA, and I had some side effects when I first started taking it that went away within about 6 weeks. Within about 3 to 4 months, the rashes on my legs, the itchy rashes on my chest and my neck went away. The itching that I would have all over my body went away, and my stomach was a lot better. My GI system was a lot better, and my migraine headaches basically went away.
And Dr. Siri, what should people know about ISM and the way it affects patients?
I think Jackie did a really good explanation of how patients are impacted. Essentially, indolent systemic mastocytosis, or ISM, it occurs in up to 1 in 5,000 individuals. The basis is usually a common genetic mutation in these individuals, and that mutation is acquired over time. You know, all of our cells have to grow, recycle, just the immune system has to generate. And so the mutation can occur as an adult in anybody. Like I said, it was up to 1 in 5,000 people. And so what happens with these mast cells, that is the key to the driver of this disease, is that MAST mast cell. It's a normal part of our immune system. It's a white cell, but now they are overproducing, like in a factory, and too many of them are being produced. And now they are invading skin cells. They're invading the gut. They're invading the immune system and the nervous system, so they can get those symptoms exactly like Jackie's talking about. And it really is the fact that these cells also produce things such as histamine. So many people come to the allergist immunologist thinking they have a bad allergy, but in essence, they have more than just a bad allergy. And oftentimes we find they don't have allergies. allergies. They have anaphylaxis, they have hives, they have swelling, they have rashes, they have what looks like a food allergy. They also have pain and brain fog and fatigue. And so really for your readers and your audience, it's important to suggest to them that if they have more than just bad allergies, they should consider whether or not and discuss with their doctor if ISM is a possibility.
Can you tell us about this treatment and how it could help?
Yes, AYVAKIT is the first and only approved medication by the FDA for the treatment of indolent systemic mastocytosis. It is AYVAKIT, and that's the website, ayvakit.com. The medication targets specifically that gene mutation that occurs in the majority of people who have ISM. And so it's not just symptom-based. It doesn't just decrease the itching and decrease histamine and things like that as we think about. It actually specifically targets a gene mutation. So it interrupts that factory. And so we don't make as many mast cells. And as a result, in the clinical trials, the patients have less rash, less brain fog, less gut issues, less allergic type reactions. And it is important to note that any medication can have some side effects. We don't typically give it to patients who have very low platelet counts, which is a type of cell, red cell in the blood. And then certainly we also can have swelling around the eyes, swelling around the ankles. So it has to be monitored by their physician. And so it's important that if patients suspect that they have ISM, that they get diagnosed with a simple blood test. And in Jackie's case, she also had a biopsy. We often followed up with a bone marrow biopsy. And then to talk about whether or not AYVAKIT is appropriate for them.
And if somebody wants to dig deeper into this condition or treatment options, where's the best place they could go?
Yeah, I think AYVAKIT.com is a great place. That's sponsored, of course, by Blueprint Medicine that manufactures the medication, but also is in charge of partnering with us to help spread the information about ISM. Other resources, maybe some support groups, Jackie?
I would suggest that you go online and find support groups or ask your physician about support groups in your community. A lot of support groups are online these days. You can go to a website called tmsforacure.org. They have a lot of information and they could direct you to a lot of resources. When I was first diagnosed, I felt so alone and didn't know which way to turn. And even though I was a nurse, I had never heard of it. So things have come a long way in 20 years, and there are resources out there. And I encourage people who've just been diagnosed to find a physician who will listen to them and who will take an active role in helping them with their mast cell disease. Also, to learn at your own pace and don't overwhelm yourself with it, but there is a lot of help available.
Thank you, too, for joining me this morning.
It's our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you ever wonder what's really inside all of those old, dusty storage lockers? Is it trash? Is it treasure? Is it something worse? The hit 80 series Storage Wars is back with bigger lockers, bolder finds, and fiercer bidding. And one of the show's fan favorites is joining us to preview the new season. Brandi Passante is here, longtime buyer, savvy negotiator, and honestly, a Storage Wars icon. Let's welcome her to the show. Brandi, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
All right, for folks that are haven't watched this for a while, what is new this season on Storage Wars?
We have an hour long this season, which, there's a lot more chance for us to, highlight, all the background stuff that we're doing and all the silly stuff, that you never get to see. So that's exciting. We also went to an estate sale this season. That was a lot of fun, especially for me because I won big. Dave Hester's back this season. That's not very exciting. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. Season 16. So that's a little crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of a crazy big number for that. You guys have been around, what was it, 2020? No, 2010, right?
Yeah, we kind of started shooting in 2009, and yeah. So it aired, shortly after that.
So what is the biggest thrill for you when you're sizing up a locker? Is it the mystery, some of the potential profit, or maybe just Beating Dave Hester.
I think more than anything, if I like a unit, that it's the element of winning that, and it's also the potential to make money. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I'm there for. And it is always kind of fun. I do get to learn about obscure items that I would have never known anything about, and I found quite a few and unique items over the seasons, or over the years. And, sometimes I fail big and sometimes I win big, but, the longer I've done it, the less fails that there are. You just live and learn.
In over 16 seasons of buying lockers, selling lockers, and chasing dollar bills, what is some of the crazier? I guess everybody asks you this, but what are some of the crazy things, or some of the most memorable things, or some of the most heartfelt things that you've found within these lockers?
In the beginning, I would, they'd be like journals and things like that, and I would just kind of get wrapped up and read these things. And now I don't do that as much. It takes a lot of time out of it, and it's kind of a time waster. But I've also found in before I even started the show, it was one of my first units that I bought. There were these old photos. I mean, this is what I always kind of go back to. They were black and white photos from the 1800s, and they were of dead people. And it was, I guess, tradition to, capture their soul or something along those lines. And they kind of gave me the creeps. And I held on to them for, a minute, and I ended up throwing them out. And I found out later they were worth a lot of money, and I shouldn't have done that. But, it goes with anything in this business. You kind of have to live and learn, learn your lesson, do a little more research.
Not to give anybody advice on buying and selling lockers, but if anybody was interested in taking this up as a hobby or maybe small business, what are some of the first steps to that you would assume to give them as a suggestion, or say, don't do this, this is terrible, don't do this at all? What are your thoughts?
I would say don't do it, and that's what I kind of say as a rule. I mean, it's not an easy job. I know we make it look easy, but we've all been doing it a long time. It's backbreaking work. It's moving day every single day. It's cleaning out disgusting things. And sometimes it's full of dirt and dust, and sometimes there's critters, and it's not easy. You have to find a place to store all of the things. You have to go to the dump to throw away the things that you can't sell, and then you have to find an outlet to sell the items that you are keeping. So it's a difficult job. It is not easy, and there are a lot of fails along the way. You don't always win.
Yeah, that's pretty much all my entire life right there. Brandi Passante, thanks for joining me this morning. You can check out the new season of Storage Wars at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on A&E, and then they stream the episodes the very next day online. Brandi, thanks for hanging out with me this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Our next guest is unique. What do you get when you mix couture chaos, murder in paradise, and a comeback wedding with secrets that could pretty much kill? It's another simple favor. It's the long-awaited sequel that reunites Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively for another round of sharp wit, killer fashion, and even deadlier twists, this time in Capri. Joining the cast is Tony winner Alex Newell, who plays Vicky, Stephanie's fierce and fabulous book agent. Welcome to the show, Alex. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
This sequel, it brings back a lot of wild energy from the original, but now we're in Capri with even more secrets and high fashion. What's it like stepping into the deliciously chaotic world?
Amazing. And I get to be in Capri. Who doesn't want that? And oh God, that backdrop is gorgeous.
Your character, Vicky, is Stephanie's book agent. Can you tell us a little bit more about them and what kind of dynamic they bring into the mix?
chaos in the fun way. I think Vicky is somebody that everybody wants to be on vacation, and she's on a work vacation at that. So she's just trying to get a good book deal out of Miss Stephanie Smothers.
From Shucked on Broadway to a Paul Feig thriller in Italy, you've been booked and busy. What drew you to Another Simple Favor, and how did it feel to collaborate with this ensemble?
When my agent texted me and said, "Hey, do you want your White Lotus moment?" I was like, absolutely. And she said, "Well, Paul is directing the sequel of A Simple Favor and wants you to come on out to Capri and play this role." And I was so honored because I'd worked with Paul on Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist before. And so to come back and be actually directed by him and work with this incredible ensemble was just a dream come true. Everybody was so lovely.
And the movie blends comedy, mystery, and a little bit of glam, sometimes all pretty much in the same scene. What was your favorite moment in the film, or one that you think that you will always remember?
Oh my goodness. My favorite moment from the film that I think that entrance to Capri, the boat ride into it. I think that was just breathtakingly beautiful, just riding in onto it. Ugh.
And between the twists, the couture, and the cast, chemistry, what do you think will surprise audiences the most this time around?
The chaos. I mean, there is so much happening that you don't get a break from it. I think that's what they'll really take from it, but also kind of like what friendship is. I think we all have that frenemy and that friend that we all like to jab at and talk to, but we love them regardless.
Alex, thanks for joining me this morning. You should check out Another Simple Favor. It's available now on Amazon Prime. So what happens when law enforcement uncovers a plot bigger than anyone ever imagined? Well, that's the premise of Countdown, Prime Video's edge-of-your-seat action series. Two of the stars join us today. That's Elliot Knight and Uli Latukefu, who are here to give us a behind-the-scenes look towards the explosive finale. Welcome, Elliot and Uli. How are you two?
Hey, thank you, dude. Good, man. Good. How are you?
I've been doing okay. I've been checking out the show, and it moves fast, and it keeps viewers hooked. What was it about Countdown that made you both want to be part of it?
I'll go first. A combination of things. There was an opportunity to work in this genre, to being able to work in Los Angeles, which is great, and three, we'd just come off the back of a strike, so every bit helps.
Yeah, exactly. And also, to work with Derek Haas, he has such an amazing track record of the shows that he's made, and there is a really beautiful element of this show that's like, honoring those classic fun action movies and that whole genre. To do that in TV in sort of a new age and for a new audience is really an honor, and that's been a lot of fun too.
Elliot, your character is caught up in this secret task force. How did you prepare for that role and the intensity that it brings?
I think focusing on the stakes, what the real world stakes would be with what the task force are focused on. This is a deadly threat to the city of Los Angeles that could wipe it off of the map. It's something that should be unbelievable, but there are people in real life who have to consider those consequences. And so I think making sure that as the character, he's focused on making sure that does not happen, but also there is fun to be had, and you still have to be a person to do that job. It can't be dire all the time. So finding that balance of dire stakes, but also explosive fun as you go along has really made for an incredible ride, and hopefully one that translates on screen for everyone to enjoy as well.
Uli, you've had such a wide range of roles from Young Rock to Black Adam. What stands out about your experience on Countdown?
Oh, man, we had so much fun making this show, and especially given the genre, it's things can get a little intense, on the show, but it didn't feel like that at all for this. And working with this team has been amazing. Being able to work in LA, I live in LA now, and it really has been a dream come true. I'm sure Elliot will echo the same sentiment. In terms of, I've never been in a cop show like this, an American cop show, which was always fun. It's always kind of been on my bucket list to tick off, and hopefully we can continue to do that for years to come, because we've had a ball making it, and I think the show's great.
And the cast, it includes some big names like Jensen Ackles and Eric Dane. What's it been like collaborating with them on set?
Jensen's amazing and a great leader for our team. He brings not just such skill to the role, and he really is Mark Meacham in so many ways, which is so fun to watch him play out, but also he's led the fun and the camaraderie that we have on set. He's made sure that we all know how lucky and grateful we are to be doing this and to make sure we enjoy every moment. And honestly, even like Eric, he has a much more somber role in the show, but he brings his own personality and element of fun to work as well, and it really adds to the joy we get from doing this job. And yeah, and then I think the product on screen is clear. This is a group of very, very talented people, and especially the big stars amongst that too. It's amazing to get to share in that with them.
Yeah, agreed.
Hey, I want to thank you too for hanging out with me today. Catch new episodes of Countdown every Wednesday, only on Prime Video, and don't miss the season finale streaming September 3rd. Hey, I want to thank you too for joining me today.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you so much.
From pop hits to powerful faith-filled anthems, Stars Go Dim has built a global following. Now, frontman Chris Cleveland is back with a brand new album called Roses, a project years in the making that blends retro grooves with heartfelt lyrics. He also just celebrated a milestone moment with his debut at the Grand Ole Opry. Chris joins us now to talk about it all. Welcome to the show, Chris. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Roses, it was just released. What was the inspiration behind this album, and how does it reflect where you are right now in life?
Oh, so much. I think anytime with music, the best way to make it is to make music that means something to you in the moment, and just to be as honest as possible. And so this record is the first record I produced 100% myself, and so it's the most authentic me record. It's really vintage, it's really soulful, it's vibey, and then just the content of the album is all about just taking a step back, like really slowing down and seeing like the greatest pieces of life are in these small moments that sometimes if we're too busy, we just fly past. And so hopefully, as people hear this, they have a really good time as they listen to the record, but they can also slow down and enjoy those small pieces and moments of life.
And the album, it mixes faith and everyday life in a really unique way. Can you share how your songwriting process brought those themes together?
Absolutely. I think with this album, I wrote every single song from one question. It's a question I've asked myself a lot of times, especially if you're a person of faith, is like, in the very best and in the very worst of life, how does this thing work with God? Like, how does he meet us? Does it? And these songs are kind of answers to those questions. And as I went through, I think I realized more and more, especially with my co-writers, that I think God meets us the most in these seemingly small moments. And not saying that these big, huge miracles and things can't happen. It just hasn't been my experience in life. But what I have seen is the incredible joy, the incredible love, the incredible life, the incredible faith through those small moments. And so that's what a lot of these songs, every song, is all about.
And also, congratulations on making your debut at the Grand Ole Opry. That's pretty massive. How was that night like for you?
Incredible. You know, I've been traveling and playing since I was 10 years old. I turned 40 this year, so 30 years. And so it felt like a really awesome celebration of a career. And I grew up in Oklahoma, and so my grandma was a songwriter. And so I've always been aware of the Opry and how much it meant. And so my family and I have lived in Nashville now for almost a decade. And so to be able to walk on that stage where so many people have been before, it was a really special moment.
And one of your standout tracks is your song, which you dedicated to fans. What is some of the what is that connection with your listeners mean to you?
Everything. I think I wrote this song specifically for people. Like, if you've ever needed just a song to make you feel better than you do right now, that's what your song is all about. From the lyric to the feel, as soon as it comes on, you just want to crank it up, throw the windows down, and just blast it. And hopefully when you do that, you're going to feel better once the song is over than when it started. And that's what your song is all about, just to make you feel great.
Chris, thanks for joining me this morning. Check out Chris Cleveland's new album, Roses, From Stars Go Dim. It's out now everywhere music is sold and streamed. For more information on the music, videos, and tour dates, just go to his website, starsgodim.com. Thanks for joining me this morning, Chris.
You bet, man. Thank you.
Do you ever wonder what happens when love, family, and small-town drama all collide? That's the heart of My Life with the Walter Boys. After a whirlwind first season, the story is back with even more twists, tension, and second chances. Joining us are Nikki Rodriguez, Noah Lalonde, and Ashby Gentry, better known as Jackie, Cole, and Alex, to talk about season 2 and now streaming on Netflix. Welcome to the show, you three. How are you?
Thank you.
Doing
So
well.
good.
Thank you.
All right, Nikki, your character Jackie went through a lot this season. How does she approach coming back to Silver Falls after spending the summer in New York?
Yeah, I think, when she comes back to Silver Falls this time, I think she's ready to kind of face things head on a little bit. And I think she just wants to be like the perfect version of herself to kind of just make up for her past in a way. So I think that's her overall goal this season.
And Noah, Cole is stepping into a new role at school this season. What's it like to explore that side of him, and how does it affect his relationships?
Yeah, I think it was fascinating to step into that new side of him, because I think it's a version of himself that's taking ownership over his life. After throughout season 1, there was a lot of directing blame on other people and kind of self-sabotaging. So I think, taking ownership of your path and allowing, that growth to happen and start to prepare to be who you want to be for other people in your life, your family, the people who you want to show up for. So that was it was a cool turn to take.
Ashby, and your character, Alex, seemed to have changed a lot since we last saw him. How did you prepare to show that growth, especially with his focus on rodeo training?
Well, I listened to a lot of cowboy podcasts and watched a lot of YouTube videos and walked through the park a lot. And the rest of it, you'll have to see on screen. Yeah.
The show is based on a beloved book, and it's taken a life of its own. What's been like interacting with fans and hearing from them and seeing how connected they are to your characters and the story?
I mean, it's been an absolute dream come true. I think you always hope that you're bringing the character, like you're doing justice in a way. And so it's just been really lovely, the response.
And is there anything that you are expecting or would hope that your audience will take from season 2?
Yeah, of course. I think I hope that they would take it. I hope that they would to take away some of the lessons that are to be yourself, to love hard and love your family, and just know that if tomorrow doesn't work out, the next day is always there.
All right, I want to thank you three for joining me this morning. Season 2 of My Life with the Walter Boys is streaming now on Netflix. Make sure you watch and catch all of the drama that's been unfolding in Silver Falls. Thank you three for joining me.
Thank you. Have a good one.
That's it for Rise Unwind. I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. If you actually want to be on the show, go to our website, riseunwindtv.com. Fill out the form, send it in, and maybe you could be on a future episode. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Just look up at Rise Unwind. Also, if you want to find us on YouTube, that is also at Rise Unwind. And until next week, that was Rise Unwind.